Hi, I'm Eric Willicke, SPCT, SAFE Fellow, and creator here at Shaping Agility. And in this video, I'm excited to share some examples of what I believe are healthy, useful PI objectives. We will briefly review the formula that I shared in the last video, and then I'll share 4 or 5 examples, including a couple of examples about how PI objectives align between multiple teams. This pairs with the handout page that's linked in the description below and pictured right there. And it's part of a toolkit and a series of 3 mini workshops that help you and your team get the most possible value out of writing and using PI objectives. So just as a quick reminder, in the previous video, I walked through each element of this pattern. It's a quick template that helps you get started with PI objectives, but I just want to remind you, don't overthink it. Clarity and communication is far more important than following the script, and do what works for you and your business owner and the other teams around you on the release train. So let's dive into the examples. First, this one's for customers. We want to do something to enhance system performance. Team Throwback is doing this, and they want to reduce page load times by 30%, very specific, on the most visited product pages. Again, specific and relevant. The business owner gets a pretty solid idea exactly what you're talking about there. By optimizing images and leveraging edge cases, okay, I'm specific, I got a feel for what you're doing, I bring some trust and confidence there, so that active shoppers don't get distracted. Business owners thinking, oh, I know who those people are, and yeah, I'm struggling with that. Thus reducing cart conversion drop-off by 10%. Strong business hypothesis, clear business value, clear user value, and it's specific and measurable and I know what you're doing. Good solid objective here, and it's going to resonate with your business owners even though it's a technical thing about system performance enhancements, because I've connected that back to the business case and what I'm trying to fix through that. Let's look at another one that's kind of investing in the future. Every team wants to reduce technical debt. It's exciting, it's fun, but it's really hard to sell. So let's look at a way a PI objective will actually help sell that. We want to dedicate, that's a strong verb, dedicate 20% of development effort to simplify error handling in the core transaction services. Yes, I'm refactoring. I'm reducing technical debt, but I'm being very specific there. Simplifying error handling in the core transaction services, so that the team experiences 50% fewer untraced errors and can reduce future feature costs by 20%. That's powerful. Now, you're saying you know that you have a problem. You're tracing these untraced errors all the time, and you can clearly say it's slowing you down. And by reducing them by half, you think you can add 20% to your feature cost or your feature velocity? That's exciting. As a business owner, I want to be like, yes, please, give me that. If that's all it takes, I want it. Or I might say, there's actually something more important right now, but next PI. There's also one for the business here. We want to expand our market reach. Team Elsewhere is working on this to launch the service in Chile and Argentina. So we want to do that. Cool. We're going to a new market. Companies do that all the time. So you're translating, right? Oh, including localization for language and compliance with local regulations. That specificity told me you're not just building translations. You're also doing research. You're doing regulatory concerns. You're talking about accounting needs. Okay, I see why this is hard now. And more importantly, I know it's hard. I see that you understand it's hard because, frankly, developers have this reputation of just believing anything's a simple code exercise. But you just told me what you're really doing here, and you're doing this so that the local sales team can start selling our new products. Yeah, that's not very specific, but as your business owner probably already knows what those are. So this is a pretty solid one. But let's look at another team's role in this one. So Plain Jane, the UI team and support team on this art, it says they're going to support you by deploying a translation table sync API and associated Excel template. Cool. We get to edit our translation tables in Excel instead of in a really painful database format. That's going to be great. By iteration 2, so that Team Elsewhere and the LATAM team can deploy to Chile and Argentina this PI. That's useful. As Team Elsewhere, I know that you hear me. I know that you get it. And the LATAM team or the business owner representing them is going to be like, cool, y'all are connected. You're on the same page with this. That's great. So again, solid PI objectives showing how two teams relate to each other. Let's go to one that's not as healthy. So you've got Dancing in the Moment, one of the Streamline teams saying, hey, this is exciting. We're going to open up a whole new inventory data stream. It's going to be faster, cheaper, and have more data than any of the sources we've exposed to date. Sounds kind of exciting, right? Well, except Team Throwback was writing a PI objective that was optimizing inventory management by applying really cool new AI stuff using existing data sources. Now, if these teams weren't specific, they would have missed this. It would have gone right past. They're part of completely different value propositions. But Team Throwback's applying a lot of new energy and building a new model that is going to cost a bunch of time, money, and effort to create. And they were going to build it on the old data sources at the same time that a shiny new fancy data source that had all of the old stuff and more was about to be available that's faster and cheaper to run. So by catching this, even if they catch it at the very end of PI planning, they are able to avoid a big mistake. And I've seen cases with this one. This happens all the time. And frankly, it's the best possible outcome because I'd far rather know it now on day 0 of the PI than during the final system demo when I realized I've just wasted a couple $1 million on one of these teams. And I watched one company, and this is a real life experience in large company in the US, literally save millions of dollars because of this kind of finding between multiple teams. 3 different teams had observations in their PI objectives and then the discussions that happened as they read each other's objectives that made them realize that one vendor was notoriously late in delivering and was the source of a key architectural document that if you chase the red string across the board actually led to one of the most compelling big things that the PI was supposed to accomplish. And get this, that the head of marketing for this group was about to announce the next week because the team was making a commitment to it. And because they were all there in the room and because they did their PI objectives and they plugged this together and realized it, that marketing director was able to step back and say, wait a second, I'm not writing that. And I'll tell you, based on this company's reputation, if they had committed it and then had to pull back that commitment, it would have been a huge black eye in the press. It probably would have made the front page of the news on the Wall Street Journal. So I've watched this literally save jobs, millions of dollars from writing PI objectives safely, carefully, and then listening to each other's objectives to find that nuance, find those risks. So I thank you for listening. Your art thanks you. Your art leadership thanks you. You can learn more on shapingagility.com, and there you can get a hold of the full toolkit that has the 3 different mini workshops, extended guidance for coaches and Scrum Masters, and additional support for your art leaders and business owners in the form of other handouts. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.